Today, we step into the enigmatic world of Louisiana Voodoo, a place of incense smoke, drums that pull at the ribs, and stories that have been whispered for centuries. In New Orleans and the surrounding bayous, rituals and memories braided together survived slavery, migration, and city growth to become a living tradition. In this episode, you will meet 12 mysteries that shaped and still shape this spiritual landscape. We will walk from Congo Square to hidden shrines, listen to eyewitness accounts, examine archival notes, and feel the textures of offerings left by hands that remember. Some say the lowest still answer at crossroads after midnight. We will look with care, honoring belief and history. Candles popped with wet air, the metallic scent of coins on a small altar, and distant drums set the scene. Number 1. Papa Legba. In stories dating to the 18th and 19th centuries, he was described as the gatekeeper, the one who opened the path between worlds. Sight and sound arrived together here, a bent man with a cane at a crossroads, the scrape of wood on gravel, and the whisper of a petition. A local guide, Thomas Dupree, recalled, "I once left a tiny key on the crossroads, and when I returned, the footprints circled it." A short scene of witness follows with clear exchanges among locals to show how talk circulates. Thomas said, "I do not pretend to understand everything." Rosa Carter, a vendor in the quarter, said, "My grandmother always left peanuts on a cigarette." Malik Broussard, a boatman from the bayou, added, "I heard singing at 3 in the morning and the dogs would not bark." Sarah LeBlanc, a historian, asked, "Could that be a ritual or just a trick of the wind?" Thomas answered, "It felt like someone listening." Sensory notes, the tobacco smell, the creak of a gate, the wet clay underfoot. Continuity, small keys, little offerings, and an altar under an oak still mark crossings today. Number 2. Marie Laveau. Born in the late 18th century and active through the mid-19th century, she became a central figure whose legend blends healer, midwife, and ritual leader. Archive papers and parish records mention her name alongside petitions and charity. Testimony. A longtime resident named Lena Dupree said, "People came to her for healing, not spectacle." Visuals, a dress with faded beads, the scent of rose oil, the murmur of prayers. There is debate between scholars like Dr. Henry Boudreau, who treats Laveau as a social leader, and others who see her mythic dimension. Today, small altars in the French Quarter carry candles and folded notes. Respectful instruction: if you visit, do not touch offerings and always ask permission before photographing. Number 3. The Baron in the Cemetery. The figure tied to death rituals often stands by tombs at dusk. A witness named Father Auguste said, "He is not fear itself, he is a presence that demands attention." Dialogue, short exchange between a night watchman and a mourner. Watchman: "Did you see anyone near the mausoleum?" Mourner: "Yes, there was a shadow." Watchman: "It moved like someone laughing." Mourner: "The air smelled like cut grass and something sweet." Sensory: cool stone, the rattle of a chain, faint perfume. The tradition continues with small bottles left at tomb bases, coins scattered on ledges, and songs hummed softly. Number 4. The Ursuli sightings. Ursuli appears in tales as a lover of beauty and protector of women. A scene set in a tiny parlor includes an extended dialogue to capture contested memory and emotion. Lena said, "My aunt swore she saw Ursuli by the mirror last summer." Marie the medium replied, "She wore blue and smelled like orange blossom." Henri the neighbor interrupted, "I saw candles move with no wind." Lena asked, "Was it a trick?" Marie answered, "It was something else, a comfort." Henri concluded, "It left the house softer than it found it." Sensory details, satin fabric brushing skin, the sweetness of citrus, candle flame reflected in glass. Backstory note, mid-19th century songs and Creole poems included references to Ursuli, used by women to name strength and longing. Number 5. The Crossroads Rituals along Bayou St. John. These practices date from the 17th through 19th centuries, when enslaved peoples adapted West African rites to a new geography. Testimony from Malik: "We still leave coins at certain junctions." Visuals include weathered signs, the wet smell of swamp grass, and the low croak of frogs. A local teacher, Gloria Reed, explained how the rituals functioned as both prayer and social code. Names encountered here include Guide Thomas Dupree, vendor Rosa Carter, and medium Marie. Number 6. The sound that does not match any drum. Fishermen and night workers often described a rhythm that seems to come from the marsh, a hollow beat that tugged at memory. A brief exchange. Fisherman: "I heard it while mending nets." Neighbor: "It was like a heartbeat and a bell." Fisherman: "The dogs howled until dawn." Sensory palette: salt in the air, possibility of iron on rope, distant bird calls. Researchers checked archives and found a 19th century note referencing late-night rituals near levees. Number 7. The spirit teachers of Congo Square. This space held gatherings in the early 19th century where music, dance, and spiritual practice mixed. A longer dramatic exchange reconstructs a present-day encounter at that square with 5 quick turns. Sarah said, "The square kept rhythms alive across slavery and freedom." Malik asked, "Do people still bring offerings?" Sarah answered, "Yes, beads and fried cakes and prayer." Lena added, "We dance to remember." Malik concluded, "The air tastes of sugar and sweat." Sensory elements: drum skins, fried pastry aroma, clap of hands. Backstory for Congo Square runs deeper in a focused paragraph of around 500 characters, describing how the place functioned as a cultural hub and a site of negotiation between the oppressed and the city, how musicians and ritualists preserved languages and songs eventually recognized in city archives. Number 8. The Poisoning Tale and the Herbal Cures. Stories circulated about a jar found in an attic that cured or cursed. A 2 exchanged dialogue with a healer named Driscoll. Driscoll: "My grandmother taught me which roots to boil." Resident: "Did it always work?" Driscoll: "Not always, but people believed, and belief changed the body." Sensory notes: bitter herb, steam that fogs glasses, taste of salted tea. The present-day practice survives in kitchens and small clinics. Number 9. The Queen of Salons who guarded certain songs. Salon gatherings in the Creole community preserved musical pieces that doubled as ritual signals. Testimony: Clarice, a singer, said, "We sang songs with hidden meanings so the young could learn." Dialogue, short. Clarice: "The song tells you when to leave." Neighbor: "Who taught you?" Clarice: "Older women whose names I will not speak." Sensory: fabric brushing a chair, humid breath, muffled streetcar bell. Number 10. The Disputed Archive Photograph. A black and white image in municipal files shows a woman at an altar. Historians argued if the date matched records. Dr. Henry Boudreau said, "The photograph is possibly staged." Rosa replied, "My family recognizes the beads." Short exchanges recreate historians and family members swapping claims. Sensory: paper smell, the creak of archival drawers, ink blots on catalog cards. The controversy highlights how folklore and evidence can pull in different directions. Number 11. The Medium Who Would Not Speak. A tension-filled scene of about 300 characters shows the community divided when a well-known medium fell silent. People came at night, mothers, merchants, and a young teacher named Elijah asking questions. The air was thick with incense and fear. A moment of near confrontation occurred when a skeptical reporter tried to record a ceremony and elders blocked the camera. Sensory: rubbery candle smoke, the press of a crowd, whispered syllables. Names here include Elijah, Clarice, and Father Auguste. Number 12. The Hidden Shrines in Back Alleys. These small places kept continuity alive with makeshift altars, little bowls, and coins. Short dialogues. Shopper Ava: "What is that?" Vendor Rosa: "An offering." Ava: "For whom?" Vendor: "For whoever watches over this street." Sensory: spilled coffee, damped paper, the metallic ring of pennies. The shrines remain signs of living tradition and are tended by neighbors like Rosa and Thomas. At roughly 1/3 into this narrative, we pause for you to respond in the comments because collective memory matters here. Tell us a small personal encounter in the simplest words possible. Start your reply with "I felt" and then name a place or a night memory. Your brief line helps build a map of experiences and can inspire future episodes. Whether you felt fear, comfort, or curiosity, your testimony matters. Comments create community, surface patterns, and sometimes point to places scholars should visit. We read many of them and some become part of our research. Do not worry about grammar, just say what you remember. If you prefer to remain anonymous, write "I felt" and then the city and a short phrase. After you write, we will return to a story few have heard that ties together several of the shrines and a disputed photograph. Backstory focused on a principle. Marie Laveau became a crossroads of practice and public life in New Orleans. Born to a mixed Creole family in the late 18th century, she moved between parish records, folk healing, and municipal life. She offered midwifery, performed ceremonies, and negotiated with city officials. Her life combined practical skills with ritual leadership. People came with ailments and left with prescriptions that mixed herbs and prayer. Her legend grew because she bridged worlds, spoke to rich and poor, and because stories of miraculous intervention circulated in newspapers and letters. In memory, she is both a real woman and a symbol for the resilience of communal knowledge. Two moments of tension appear in the record and in living memory. The first came when city officials in the early 20th century tried to regulate gatherings and labeled them disorder. Elders resisted, and a confrontation left families arguing about public space. The second occurred more recently when tourists pressed into private ceremonies to take pictures, causing an elder named Mama Joe to stand at a doorway and demand respect. These moments show the fragile balance between curiosity and intrusion. Sensory cues in tension. Shouted names, the smell of spilled coffee, heavy boots on wooden porches. They remind us that these practices are not merely spectacle. Across these 12 mysteries, certain names recur. Thomas Dupree, Rosa Carter, Malik Broussard, Lena Dupree, and Sarah LeBlanc, among others. They act as witnesses, caretakers, guides, and critics. Terms like loa, ritual, altar, offering, tombs, crossroads, spirit, ceremony, medium, guardian, landa, tradition, folklore, shrine, and testimony thread the narration. Sources ranged from cemetery registers to oral interviews to newspaper clippings and photographic archives. Practical guidance if visiting. Approach with respect. Do not touch offerings. Ask permission and listen before you record. In conclusion, these stories remind us that history and belief live side by side. The loas and ritual practices are both expressions of devotion and strategies for survival. In every candle flame, every coin on a tomb, and every song hummed in a kitchen, there is a memory being kept. If this episode moved you, share your "I felt" line in the comments and consider subscribing to follow this series. By listening carefully, we honor both the people who practice and the archives that record them. In the end, what remains is less about proving the supernatural and more about understanding why communities keep certain stories alive. YouTube description timestamps and chapter summary for upload. 00, Introduction and Promise of 12 Mysteries. 110, Number 1, Papa Legba. 225, Number 2, Marie Laveau. 340, Number 3, The Baron in the Cemetery. 450, Number 4, Urzeli Sightings. 610, Crossroads Rituals at Bayou St. John. 720, The Sound from the Marsh. 815, Spirit Teachers of Congo Square. 945, Herbal Cures and Kitchen Rituals 11. Number 9, The Queen of Salons 1205. Number 10, The Disputed Archive Photograph 1320. Number 11, The Silent Medium and Moments of Tension 1440. Number 12, Hidden shrines in back alleys, 1550. Comment, CTA and reflection, 1630. Epilogue and respectful visit advice. Sources, Municipal Archives of New Orleans, interviews with Thomas Dupree, Rosa Carter, Malik Broussard, Lena Dupree, and Sarah LeBlanc. Selected articles from the Times-Picayune archives, photographs from the Historical Society, B-roll suggestions, altar close-ups, cemeteries, Congo Square footage, archival photos, community interviews. SFX notes, drums low and atmospheric, gentle field recordings of Bayou nights, subtle choir pads under tense moments.